Hello and welcome, everyone, to week 5 of the seeding of the second rendition of the World Cup. So today we've got Japan versus Colombia, and joining me for commentary today we have some new faces. So we've got our extra special guest commentators, Jet.
Yo.
And Jooba.
Hello there.
Then we also do have our background chief Rare, who's just going to be here, but mainly doing our scores and all the sneaky stuff in the back for you guys. So yeah, we've got the lobby's almost set up. We've got 5 people in at the moment. We are just waiting on a few streams to be going live. But we do have the draft, as you guys can see down the bottom of the stream here. Jet, did you want to go through the picks and bans for each team?
Yeah, so we got some super curious picks, I want to say. Starting off on Mystery Caves from Japan, which as far as I know, whenever I played against them, they actually really do enjoy that track. After that, we have, coming from Colombia, we have Slide Coliseum and Android Alley. Pretty basic Colombia picks, honestly. Slide in particular, especially since knowing the lineup of the players, it's gonna be a pretty wild track, to be perfectly honest. Android Alley is just a Colombia go-to. Finishing off first half, we have Papu's Pyramid and Tiny Arena from Japan, and that's surprising. Not the Papu's pick, but the Tiny Arena is, considering Colombia's pretty strong on that track, so I'm not particularly sure about that one. And then starting second half from Colombia, we have Jungle Boogie, which is, they name it Colombia Boogie. But the last couple matches that I've seen with them, they have not done too hot there, so we'll see how that goes. And then we have Oxide Station, knowing that Pedro's playing, Oxide is basically his playground. Then we have Tiger Temple and Prehistoric coming from Japan. Prehistoric is pretty basic. I think it's just a favorite pick overall, but Tiger Temple is very surprising. But knowing that Topa is apparently playing with Japan today, he's been surprisingly absent. I'm wondering who's going to be hosting, and I'm thinking he might be a host, or at the very least, he's going to be front row. And then we end off on Inferno Island, of all things, coming from Colombia, but that's not surprising. So I wonder if it's gonna actually matter once we get to that far. But looking at the bans, Japan banned Nina's Nightmare, Barren Ruins, and Koala Carnival. Barren was a particularly good one because Colombia that is definitely a Colombia go-to. Koala Carnival, maybe they just didn't want to deal with how polarizing that track can be. Basically, somebody breaks away, you just never see him again. And Nina's, that could also be a polarizing track, but maybe they just don't feel comfortable on it. I know Colombia do enjoy Nina's, so maybe that's just a counter pick. For Colombia, they banned Twilight Tour. That is a standard Japan pick, so them banning that actually makes a lot of sense. Mega Mix is probably just they don't like Mega Mix, and Joyride is probably also. Has Japan picked that in prior matches?
I feel like I have seen them play it. Whether they were the ones that picked it, I cannot recall. But at the same time, I feel like I have played Japan on Gingerbread before. I wouldn't say it's known as like a strong track for them. Like Prehistoric, I feel, and Twilight are tracks that I feel like a lot of people know Japan for picking and playing. But I think Gingerbread's not to that degree. But I can understand why Colombia would ban it.
Yeah, so that's our overall track list. It's pretty standard. I'm really like track 6, Jungle Boogie. I'm really excited to see that one. Definitely want to see how Tiger Temple is gonna go, and Papu's Pyramid as well. So like basically the middle tracks for me, 4, 5, and 6. I'm excited to see the Pandora's box open there.
Oh yeah.
But I can see in the chat, Dashi is excited about Topa playing.
We have the Pulse Master playing today, and we have plenty of Pulse tracks here, so going to be interesting to see him on tracks like Mystery Cave, Slide Coliseum, Android Alley to an extent, Oxide Station, and obviously Inferno Island to end off is a very good Pulsewood track here, so Topa's going to be having a good time here, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we're probably going to be seeing Topa try and Pulsewood on, like, Tiny Arena, knowing Topa. Anything is pulsable.
He is a addict to that
probably start on Jungle Boogie as well.
Yeah, we'll see Jungle
We'll
Boogie
find a way
Pulsewood
to
from
Jungle
Tugo. From
would
Tugo,
not.
from
Yeah,
Topa.
Pulsewood along the
From
shortcut.
Topa. I honestly would not doubt it.
I mean, Tugo would too. Tugo loves this content.
Both Colombian POVs are up, by the way. So
Nice. Thank you. So I will... Is Topa streaming on Twitch? Topa, Tugo.
Yes, he is. Oh,
I'm boarding. He's not coming up for me, but that's fine. I'll type it in manually. But alright, that means we will be starting shortly, as we've got all stream POVs.
I'm a monkey. Am I not following Tugo? What? Because I see Pedro went live.
Alright. We do have all POVs. Nice. So, while we wait for the match to start and load in, of course, I'm curious for the commentary bench, who do you think is going to win this match, and by how much? Why don't we start with you, Joob? What are your bets?
my bets. I mean, Japan's got a really strong lineup for Japan, so I think it'll be relatively close. I think Colombia will probably get them in the end, but I think it will be by no more than like 20 tops. I'd probably say that's my guess. So I'm hoping that'll be close. Really exciting match. Everyone will enjoy, and so yeah, that's my bet.
All right. Any bets, Jet? Who do you think is going to be pulling this one out?
Looking at these two lineups, Pedro, Tugo, Fernan, Audrey, and then looking at the track list, I will particularly say I have to give this one to Colombia, and I want to say it's probably gonna be it's definitely gonna be less than 20, unless there's some skewed RNG going in whichever team's favor.
Yeah.
I can't see this being a huge loss for either team. Maybe even less than 10, honestly. It really just depends on, who's how RNG decides to favor people and the team play. I know that sometimes things can get lost in translation, especially with some of these item held tracks. Papu's Pyramid in particular can be pretty bad. Jungle Boogie, Tiger Temple. But yeah, I don't see this being a major loss for either side, but I do have to give it to Colombia. Maybe, 20? Maybe?
Yeah.
20.
I think a really important factor here is the fact we did mention how Topa hasn't really been playing with Japan too much. And I think the fact that he's playing today really shows that this can be an incredibly close match because of this. Because, of course, Topa is an incredibly strong player, and not to say that the other Japanese players aren't, but he is definitely a star player, especially in a format that's really Pulsewood heavy. Just because of how important it can be, especially like look at this track list: Slide Coliseum, Inferno Island, as the two biggest ones here.
That's very very true. Slide. I mean, you can even Pulsewood on Android, as we saw. Versus what was it? Germany versus France earlier this week. Who was it? It was Majin. Majin was doing the gamer tech in the train station. He got actually a really good one. He got all the way to the end of the train station. So you can even do it on Mystery Caves as well. I don't know how versed Topa is with that one. I know that one's a little bit more difficult to do. But even earlier today, we saw Ovo West do it. He changed his controls in the middle of the race and did Pulsewood. So,
all right. So we will be starting the match now. We'll be seeing some little entropy manipulation here as the freezes the streams to start off as we try and get them in sync here.
Yes,
so,
yes.
oh no, Bottomochi stream froze. So here we go. They'll be roughly in sync now. I will just spend a little bit of time fixing these up here.
All right. So
The
let's
connection's
see.
good, so that is really nice to see.
Oh, for
Yes,
sure.
that is.
I'm not sure how Colombia normally connects with Japan, but I imagine they're quite far away, so it's good to see that there's no teleporting or anything going on.
Oh, for sure.
Makes for a nice clean match.
And we see that
should see less team kills as a result of that.
we see early on, Pedro's actually got a small break here. He does have a porter right behind him here. I think that is a Romu, I think, in second place there. As we're seeing a bit of carnage in the back row. Tugo in 8th here, alongside Topa, as they're having a little bit of a battle in the back here. Sukaneko getting taken out at the end of the line there. Almost team kills, but luckily Botomochi had a mask.
So currently, so what is this? I'm trying to figure out the characters here. Pedro is the ice-haired Coco. We have bottom being baby.
It looks like it's Coco's and Megumi's. It's Coco's and Megumi's versus the rest, it seems. So,
okay, all right.
So yeah, we are seeing, looking like Pedro's got the first place, but other than that, Japan actually have some really strong positions here. They look like they've got 2, 3, 4, 7. So that'd be a +3 at the moment, though it does look like 8th place is fast approaching Sukaneko there, so we could be seeing some position swaps at the back there. A 6th place POV, Tugo does have a shield here, but he could get caught up to by masks as they're not too far behind. Romo getting taken out as Tugo's going to be catching right up here to 5th place. We'll see if he can outline and get a shield tackle off here. And we do see Sukaneko with masks right on top of Tugo. Are we going to see a takeout here? And he does, he gets it. Sukaneko takes out Tugo there, coming up into 6th place.
All right, first, top 3, there doesn't look like there's going to be any struggles. None of them have rolled shields, but I don't, Pedro's not particularly, well, he had, okay, yeah.
Tugo's got a
Tugo has an orb, so as you've said, Pedro doesn't have a shield, so they're not likely to throw this, but we don't see Pedro backcamming, so we don't know whether the other 2 people behind him have shields or not, but it could look like Tugo's going to have to be holding this just to make sure Pedro holds the first. And we do see that Botomochi actually has a green shield here, and so
and 2nd place actually has a shield too, unless you lost.
Actually, it looks like 2nd place is Audrey, so I was wrong. So it looks like we've got a penta.
Okay, he's pented it.
Yeah, actually, it looks like it's a. My assumption was wrong. So we do see that it's just Pedro without a shield here. So top 2 at the moment, I think, for Colombia then.
Yes. All right, so looking at bottom screen, you can actually see. There's some mild teleporting, but not
not major,
like mass. So yeah.
And I mean, if we look on a Sukaneko screen as well as the rest of the POVs are kind of just driving at the moment, we do see he is quite sandwiched with his teammate Topa there. Not too much he can do as Topa runs away with a mask. He does get a shield to dodge the orb Tugo does throw. We'll see if it hits anyone. It hits the beach Coco. We'll see if it hits anyone else, as it looks like everyone else dodged. So Beach Coco looking like it's Fernan here. Doesn't look like they lose any positions though. Sukaneko is up in 5th. Oh, he does get the missile hit on Fernan though, so he does come up into 4th.
All right, so that lessens Colombia's win, which actually would have been major. 1-2-4 would have been a very, very strong start. But instead, we got a 3-4 from Japan fighting back first race.
Yeah, for sure. So we saw an early breakaway there from Colombia. So we saw 1-2 Pedro Audrey running away at the start. Bot was close behind, but just wasn't close enough to be able to catch up and outline there, which was unfortunate for Japan. But we did see Sukaneko coming up from the back. They did sit in pretty low placements to start with. They were down in like 7th for a while there. But they did manage to come all the way back up into 4th, stealing the 4th from Fernan at the end there.
We got a +9 on Colombia's side going into race 2, which is, I mean, it's still early on. There's still 9 more tracks, but you know,
it's still a nice start.
Yeah, it's still a really nice start. Going into Slide Coliseum though, I wonder exactly how Japan is gonna clap back, because Topa, as we know, pulse with a dick. So
well, that's actually something that I see as a bit of a concern for Japan here. Is yes, Topa is the pulse master, but the problem they have there is Topa's really the only one with the top tier pulse with skills, I would say, on Japan's team. I always say I'm pretty sure Sukaneko can do it alongside Romu, and as much as they can do it, their proficiency level definitely isn't up to the same standard as someone as Topa, because everyone knows Topa lives and breathes Pulsewood. So they have one really strong Pulsewood player, but the problem is that Colombia have, what, 4? I'm pretty sure...
their entire team.
So they did bring Topa, which is a very smart idea, against a team that is very strong with Pulsewood, but it's 1v4 in that regard in terms of that high-level Pulsewood play. So a little concerning for Japan there on these Pulsewood tracks, but perhaps it could be enough to help get them some points there, or at least minimize the losses.
Yeah, I think the only person that I haven't actively seen use Pulsewood on Colombia's current lineup is Fernan, but it's probably negligible. He probably has done it, or he probably does it, at least know it. So, and even if he does it, it's still 3 other people on his team that do know the tech and actively use it. So
yeah. So it looks like we might be seeing a host change. So I do see everyone has just rage quit the lobby. So I'm guessing the connection, as we saw, was somewhat poor for Japan. So they're likely trying to find a more suitable host here. So
okay.
In the meantime, we do have some time in chat. I know I usually ask, but I didn't get the time. Place your bets on who you think's going to be winning here and by how much. The winner, if I remember, will get me saying their name on stream, which I know everyone loves. So if you want your name said out loud on stream, guess correctly. But in the meantime, I think going into Slide Coliseum as our next track, as we mentioned with Pulsewood, it's going to be a bit of a hard-fought match for Japan coming up. But I think looking further into the track list, I'm not sure what you other guys on the bench think, but I think Android Alley Poppy's Pyramid is a really strong potential for Japan here. I know they're very strong with their item plays, and I just feel like Alley is a track I generally see Japan doing pretty decently overall on.
I mean, yeah, I can definitely see that being the case. It's a strong track, but it's very front-heavy, in my opinion. Basically, there's the blind corners and the square spiral, trapping the crates, and there's really not... You can't do too much in order to catch up outside of masks. Basically, if someone gets a break, like if Pedro ends up getting another break on that track, you likely won't see him again outside of getting orbed like 8 times. But yeah, but I can definitely see Japan fighting back on that track. So, and Papu's is a very technical track. In my personal opinion, it's never been one for wars. Like I think that track is terrible for wars. But Japan has always had something for it, so we're likely to see some maybe unorthodox plays, maybe a cross hit that could possibly throw somebody off, and get you some positions and some major wins and points there. So we have some bets in the chat. Dashi saying +10 Colombia, Belasoki saying Japan +5. So we have it's you know, like I said, everybody's saying it's not gonna be a major win to either side, whoever does. But
I mean, we'll see if this first race signifies anything going further in here. So we did see that Colombia were very good at winning that first crate encounter and getting the early breakaway. And as you said, Jet, tracks coming up such as Alley are very front runner heavy. So if Colombia managed to keep this up, where they managed to keep their early breakaways, it could potentially mean that Japan are going to be in some serious trouble trying to catch back up. Because we saw a similar situation with Australia's last match where they just weren't winning the first crate encounters, and it was just letting the other team just run away, and they weren't being caught up to. So I'm wondering if we would see the similar thing here, but hopefully no, but anything can happen here. Alright, so we have swapped to Pedro's host. So I wasn't sure who was hosting before. Probably one of Audrey and Fernan. I'm not 100% sure there. But looks like Pedro's hosting now, so hopefully we see a cleaner connection for Japan now, as we go into Slide Coliseum.
I hope so. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't too bad. There were just some mild, like, skipping. It wasn't like Goku tech. Not some Dragon Ball Z level type of teleporting. Yeah, so here we go. Matsumochi switching
Let's
to
see
the
if
flaming.
someone will. Actually, they probably will.
Alright, so we see Topa going for the double wumper.
Early.
Yeah, that's exactly what we see Topa go for. Shikaneka getting taken out early alongside Tugo, who gets just completely comboed there. Looks like Topa's yet to roll an engine. Don't see him pulse switching here, but we'll see if he can come up from the back here. We do see Tugo with an engine. He's going to be trying to juice that now to try and get a runaway here. And we see Pedro with the 4th place mask. Topa pulse-witting away. Don't know if Pedro is going to be able to catch up here, but he might be able to catch the Japanese player just there. But his mask runs out, so he's not going to be able to get a catch there. But this missile might connect. Oh, but he pulls a shield. Bot pulls a shield.
Yes.
So we're seeing top 3 for Japan at the moment. Romu, Topa, Botamochi. Pedro's not too far behind, but it is a little bit of a gap here. So we'll see if any of them can pulse-wit from the back to try and catch up here.
Pedro just got ended by something.
Sukaneko, it looked like, had a mask and took him out there. And then Sukaneko rolls us 4th place mask. This is 4th place mask Coliseum.
So we got a top 4 from Japan at the current moment?
Yeah, and the really scary thing for Colombia here is not only is Sukaneko there with a shield, he also has a mask. So if any of Colombia pulse-wit, he has a very strong chance of hitting them here. Chugo actually running up with a mask here. He doesn't actually get the hit on Botamochi or Sukaneko, but he does run up into 3rd with Sacred Fire, so he does have a really good chance of catching up.
Oh my god, that snipe!
Botamochi with the shield snipe, and then Tugo with the bomb snipe there. They're just trading here. Sukaneko with the accidental team kill because of the tumble, but we do see Sukaneko holding the mask in 3rd as Botamochi getting comboed to last.
So they do manage to break up the top 4 going into lap 4 here. But they still have a strong top 3. Sukaneko using his mask just probably to get a little break.
Yeah, which is understandable here because using a mask on slide, we see just how far away he's gotten from Pedro now. As we see
Pedro, yeah. Okay, Pedro he's using 2 engines.
Yeah, 2 engines in a mid spot. So we'll see whether Topa can counter here. Sukaneko only had a beaker and failed to hit him. Topa's going to try for the shield hit, doesn't get it. So Pedro's going to be able to run up into 2nd here. He won't catch 1st place, but we'll see if he can hold the 2nd. We do see
minimize Colombia's damage.
Tugo also has an engine in 8th here, so we'll see whether he can use this to get a heap of spots or if Botamochi can roll a good item here to take him out.
Tugo is gaining.
Alright, well, so we see Botamochi with the mask here. Is he going to get the hit off? Looks like he won't. He has his own engine, but I don't know if he'll pulse-wit here.
No. Chugo ran into the rear of Botamochi and lost all his speed from the pulse.
No!
Yeah.
But Chugo was able to catch up with the mask and get him anyway.
Tugo is doing the
Tugo-
controversy Magumi tag.
Alright,
To make sure that Fernand gets the 6th place, he fist masked.
yeah, fist mask Botamochi to ensure his teammates got up into the out of last place. Botamochi just getting absolutely ended there to finish off.
Oh my goodness. I didn't actually see all the positions, but we got what? Was it 1? Because Pedro had the 2nd, right?
Japan.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like 1, 2, 8, and I can't remember the middle position.
Yeah, I reckon it was first. It was like, yeah, 1st, 2nd, 4th, 8th or something like that. It was very, very strong win for Japan
It's
from what I
like
saw.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what they need.
So that was rough. That was a
to kind of
plus.
counteract the first race.
Yeah, for sure. So that is exactly what happened, actually. We see
Exactly.
+9. So
Even
now
out.
it's 0 point difference.
It's 0 again.
Yeah, we're going back and forth with this one, boys.
So yeah,
I mean, this will be a pretty good match.
Yes, it will be.
I have a feeling.
If it keeps going back and forth, let's hope it does. It's going to be insane.
And those make for the best matches, right? Like
for sure.
seeing both teams go back and forth and trading wins, and it's not just like an entire blowout. Makes it more exciting as nail biter. So Inferno Island actually might have its place on here. It might actually come down to Inferno Island if this keeps up.
yeah, and we've had quite a few matches that didn't actually come down to the last race. A lot of them being decided by race 9. So it'd be nice to have a match that actually is decided by race 10.
Right. Actually, something that I didn't bring up during when we were talking over drafts, there are only there's only 2 blue fire tracks on this list. We have Oxide Station and
I did
Prehistoric.
notice that.
So
Yeah, it's a very
I wonder what the rationale behind the picks is. Maybe just they're going for item plays, or maybe they thought there might be, some, desync items, teleportation. Because I know on blue fire tracks, it's a strategy Australia tried to use, where we'd pick sacred fire tracks on someone else's connection, so that if we got hit by a desync item or if someone was ages away, it wouldn't just ruin us. Like, we could kind of make a comeback a bit better because, you know, the speed difference wasn't as big. So maybe that's something they were trying to do.
For sure. Well, we're going to be
One
going
rationale.
into Alley now, so we'll see how this one turns out now.
All right.
Alright, here we go, starting off. We'll see how our POVs go. Looks like we're seeing Sukaneko with the slowdown tech. There does get the early mask here. He could use this to be secure an absolutely fatal early lead here. We also see Tugo with the mask, so we're seeing two POVs in 5th with a mask here. Sukaneko using his, taking out Pedro, going tight. Is he going to get Fernan? He does! So we see all the top placements except for Tugo, who's also masking, taken out early on by Sukaneko's mask. And then he beakers Tugo.
Oh.
So we have a top 2 from Japan, top 3 from Japan right now.
Yeah, very early breakaway here, but we do see Pedro with the 4th place mask
with a
here.
mask in 4th.
And it's juice.
He should be tearing through at least a couple of positions.
Takes out Botomochi. Is he going to take out Sukaneko? Here he does. He won't catch Romu, but he did break up the top 3.
Is he going to gamer tech here?
Looks like he's not. We do see Sukaneko did get taken out there, so he's fallen right down to 8th place, and he's doing the gamer tech. Let's go. We'll see if he can do it. Let's see how fast he can go here.
I mean, he's doing a pretty good job with an unjuiced engine.
Yeah, and he caught right up to Tugo there, so that was...
the speed at the end, but it doesn't matter. He pole-switted that whole tunnel.
Yeah, he actually caught right up there.
That was solid.
And you can see the difference. Botomochi, who didn't do it, has fallen right pretty far behind already. So we'll see whether he can roll anything in the back here to try and catch up. He is chaining masks, but he is unjuiced, so he's not being able to get the most time use out of these. And if we look ahead on the minimap and on Pedro's POV, we do see that Romu has a decent break here. 2-3 looks like it's secured for Japan at the moment, so bit of an early break. We see top 4 kind of far away as Sukaneko gets taken out, down into 7th place here, but does regain fire from his turbo canister. So looking like winning positions from Colombia at the moment, as I believe they have 2, 3, 4, 6. As Topa pole-switched past Tugo into 5th place. Tugo has a shield, but Sukaneko's got triple missiles for him here, so Tugo being taken out here. Botomochi, also with an orb in 8th here. We don't see Romu with protection as far... Romu does have protection, actually, that is my bad. Pedro with nothing.
Sukaneko running into the blind spot Nitro.
Yeah.
That's very, very bad. He's not going to have fire for a while.
And we see Tugo's hot in his heels. Doesn't have an item, though, so he is chasing Sukaneko down. Only gets a canister, though. And
however, Sukaneko decided to use unjuiced engine pulse with.
Oh, it looks like Tugo rolled an orb. Tugo rolled an orb and threw it immediately. And so we see the counter orb by Botomochi here. The first orb didn't hit Sukaneko, nor did that one because of the mask. But the orb did hit Tugo, so Tugo's going to be falling into the clutches of Botomochi right now. Looks like all of the Colombians got hit by that orb. Luckily for them, they are before fire, so they should hold it, but they did lose a lot of time, and Romu just pretty much secures first now.
He didn't fall off the track yet? Oh, yes, he did. He did fall off. He got respawned
afterwards, I see. So he actually isn't going to have as much of a lead as we thought he was going to have here.
Needs to hurry and make it back to the pad going into lap 5.
Yeah, we'll see if he's got enough time to be able to keep away from Pedro, who's got a missile here. We do see Tugo going for missiles on Botomochi, who happens to just have a master dodge them, as Pedro going tight, hits the tight Nitro, and pretty much secures the fact Romu will hold that first. We do see Fernan with a shield in second, Audrey with a shield in third, so if Tugo rolls a power item here, this could be very strong for Colombia, taking out Romu and potentially getting that first.
Where is Romu? Romu is quite far away.
Yeah, and we see Tugo pole-switting to get away from Botomochi here. Botomochi's masking, but isn't going to be enough to be able to catch up to Topa here. To Tugo, sorry. We'll see if there's anything that he can do from the back here. Sukaneko and Topa kind of in their own little land there as they're really far away from everyone else. We do see 2, 3, 4 stacked on top of each other, but they are teammates, so no action's going to be happening there. But securing second, third, and fourth means this is a guaranteed win for Colombia. we're potentially seeing a +3, as Tugo's likely to secure the 7th place.
Yep, that's what it looks like it's gonna be. Yep.
Yep.
Badamochi just not having any good luck as of lately. He usually gets away at the start, and then something ends up happening in the mid part of the race, and then he just ends up falling behind and never recovering, which
Yeah.
kinda sucks.
I mean, part of it on that track was we did see there was a little battle between him and Tugo for quite a few laps there. Tugo ended up being able to get the one up on him at certain stages, but there was a part midway through where Badamochi did get a runaway from Tugo because of his masks, but then Tugo rolled an engine and did the fabled gamer tech to zoom straight past Badamochi and just out of reach.
There was a lot of gaming on that track.
Oh,
Actually.
yeah.
A lot more than I'm used to.
There was so much gaming.
Yeah, it was really really nice to see that from our POVs actually, because as much as we don't have Topa's POV today on stream, so we weren't able to see him doing it, but we did get to see Tsukaneko and Tugo doing it here, so that was really refreshing to see. Now we are going into Papu's Pyramid, so that's gonna be a fun one. I always love commentating Papu's. I do love racing it, but I can understand why people go bald on this track. It's not exactly perfectly balanced.
It's like I said, I don't know what Japan has with this track. They obviously know something that I don't. But hey, if it works for you, it works for you. I'm not gonna knock you for it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is a track, I feel like everyone's talked about this track before. It's definitely one that's completely chaotic, really tough on reserves, especially early on if you're trying to get that breakaway. But not just that, you also have the fierce item plays here that can occur, and I just think this is going to be a really interesting one, especially since, as you said, this is a track that Japan seem to do decent on. So like you said, I feel like they've got some kind of secret up their sleeve.
Gotta know something, man. I literally can't say in good faith that I would ever pick this track. But we are loading in now. Just a +3 for Colombia. So yes, like you said, it's just been very
Incredibly close.
I knew this was gonna be a nail biter struggle, but we're -5, like less than -5. That's ridiculous going into race 4. Now let's see. I wonder who's gonna do slowdown tech, if anybody.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Alright, so we see Badamochi going quite wide here alongside a few others like Tugo. Badamochi getting the mask though. This could be really strong if he uses it after the pad here and just takes out Team Colombia, who have a lot of the top spots, but he gets squished by Audrey here. Not going to be able to hold fire. We'll see if he can use the mask to come back and take anyone out here. Goes wide for an item there, so he does get another mask, but he's just not caught anyone from this. We do see Pedro getting taken out right before the shortcut twice. Tugo forced to go around it here. So we are seeing one Colombian in first here with the break, but we do see Topa not too far behind alongside Tsukaneko and Romu. Alright, Tugo with the mask in 7th here. He is just using it in the... Oh, he used it, which made him jump over the pad. That's so unfortunate for him. So now he's not going to have any fire, so he's going to be at a bit of a disadvantage here. Does regain it here, but we do see Romu's hot on his heels here. See, our first place... Yeah, our first place POV does have a decent break still. Unknown if they have a shield. We do see both Japanese players don't have any protection here, so any power items coming out from Colombia... Well, Topa gets a shield, Commentator's Curse. But we do see, yeah, very blessing for Japan for sure. Oh, but he gets the shield tackle off. So Fernan getting taken out by Topa's shield there, so now it's a Japanese top 2. Fernan isn't far behind, but he has no fire, so that means that these two in the top are just going to be able to get a further breakaway now. Tsukaneko likely to put this Nitro on the turbo pad. Yep, double trap. That's a very nice strategy there by Japan. And we see...
Yeah, He avoided it though.
Yeah,
but,
he didn't get fire though. Alright, and we see Fernand does take out Topa there with a missile, so he has come up into second place, but we do see Botomochi on top of him with a shield. We'll see if Botomochi can get the shield hit off here. He does have a missile, he decides to throw it and takes out Fernand, but trades with the bomb. This is going to allow the rest of the pack to catch up as Tsukaneko hits a Nitro and falls right down into 5th here. So Colombia on the comeback here.
Tugo and Pedro in first place. They've taken it away, and I'm pretty
Top
sure
three.
they're just gonna get away with it. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're just gonna get away with it here.
So this was looking really good for Japan, but this has actually really swung into Colombia's favour as we're seeing the top 3 at the moment, as we only see Audrey falling behind there for Colombia. So this is a really strong win.
3 for Colombia, 4, 5, 6, 7 for...
Yeah, so that's a plus 11.
That swung really fast.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane there.
And like that was so crazy. Like I was looking at it, and when I switched POVs to check what was going on, it had already happened, and I couldn't even commentate it. That swung so quickly.
I feel like I blinked, and then Colombia had top 3. That was looking so good for Japan, and then suddenly it just completely flipped on its head there.
It's a plus 11, so they're down, what, 14 now going into race 5?
Yep.
Yeah. And that's what happens in this game. Like, you blink and you miss it sometimes, especially on these types of tracks. One little ill-fated loop or hitting an item or anything of that nature, and it's pretty much game over. Botomochi took the gambit to try to kill Fernand, and I really don't blame him, but I don't know, sometimes you risk it for the biscuit and you just lose it. I think he should have kept the shield.
Yeah,
and just crash into Fernand.
I feel like
or try to outline him.
Well, I feel like the play there, because we did see that Fernand was getting slightly further away, so I think Botomochi recognized he's not catching, but I feel like the best play there would have been to try and wait to know whether Fernand has an item before making the aggressive attack, because they were right at the item crates. So if he sees Fernand roll an item and then he bombs off the shield, Botomochi knows, alright, there's a super high chance that he had a single bomb and now he's defenseless. I've lost my shield, but I can use my missile now.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was the play, but I understand the risk that Botomochi took because, not only taking out Fernand earlier so his teammate can catch up, but also just securing the hit because he was point blank and that missile would have hit. But unfortunately for him, Fernand did the bomb at the same time.
Yeah. That's just super unfortunate.
Alright, so we're going into Tiny Arena, which is actually Japan's pick here, so I find that a little interesting. I've never known Japan to be Tiny Arena fanatics, so I know that, as far as I know, you've played Japan a few times, both you, Jet and Joob. I don't know if you guys have played them and they've picked Tiny Arena before.
Like I said, I have never seen this pick come from Japan before, so maybe it's subdued tech that they like, but maybe they're betting on the gamble that they can get the early breakaway, and we all know Tiny Arena syndrome, where first couple people get a breakaway and you just never see them again because the track is just so long and it's very front runner heavy since there's so many blind corners. So possibly, maybe that's it. I know that Pedro doesn't particularly like this track, but I can't say the rest. I can't say that for the rest of his team.
Yeah. Alright, well, we'll see how this one goes, as we do see Botomochi going wide for an item here. Tugo going more mid alongside Pedro, it looks like. Pedro does get a bomb, gets the early takeout on Topa. We do see Romu and I think Audrey getting the early break here.
Botomochi rolls a mask, but he slams his face into a wall. I'm not sure if that was tech, like he wanted to stay behind Tugo.
He did take out... Yeah, he did take out took out Audrey there. We'll see if he can take anyone else out, but he goes wide because Topa's the one closest to him. And we do see Pedro getting taken out there alongside Fernand. So we actually see a top 3 at the moment for Japan, and this is incredibly dangerous because, as Jet said, this is Tiny Arena and early breaks can just spell disaster as Tugo fails that hairpin, causing him to fall further behind. So now it's really Pedro versus the world up the front there.
I think Bottomochi is really just gonna try to ankle bite here.
Yeah, Pedro hitting that tight nitro, so this is really Bottomochi's game here to keep them back. He does get taken out, but he does have the advantage here in that he can be the one to roll the most masks here to catch back up. We'll see if he can do it though.
Also, coming from my other co-captain here, Megumi says that Japan loves to drift stack. So,
fair enough.
that's true. Because you can drift stack a lot
Now,
on this track. I'm pretty sure this is the track that you do it the most on. So.
Something important to note was that Topa actually got taken out. I think it was by a trap or a missile. I didn't actually quite catch it. So he's actually fallen down into 8th here as Pedro gets the back bomb on him. However, we do see that top 2 is still really far ahead though. Not the most massive breakaway here, but it is pretty decent here. We do see Romo getting taken out by a trap there. Will he hold fire to be able to hold that spot, or is this going to be just Sukaneko's game? Colombia doing a fantastic job so far to try and prevent the top players breaking away. Tugo catching up. Yeah. Tugo taking out Romy there, so it is really Sukaneko versus the world up the front now. Tugo making an advance here, but he does only have a bomb. Will Sukaneko get his back bomb to land? Looks like he won't as Tugo goes wide. Bottomochi has... Yeah. Oh, he shielded up.
Making some plays. Yeah, he's definitely making some plays for Colombia here.
We see that Bottomochi has run up into 5th here. Topa in 6th as we see bottom 2 at the moment for Colombia. Romo getting taken out by Pedro there with the super engine squish. So Romo's going to have no fire and might get caught up by the bottom 2 Colombians here. We will see whether any of them can catch up to Pedro.
Tugo lost his shield, and I'm not sure to what. Was it a bomb? I want to say it was a bomb.
Yeah, I believe so. And Sukaneko has nothing.
Yeah, is this going to connect? It might.
No, it doesn't.
It does not.
But we do see he has another one, so he can use it on this straight. We'll see whether Sukaneko can block with the bomb, but with all the humps here, that might not be a possibility. Loses fire. Unsure if that was in order to try and get the back bomb or not, but this could be disastrous. Oh, but he blocks it with the nitro.
Hanging on by a thread here, Sukaneko is really cutting it close. He's got to either get Tugo off of him or get some more distance.
Alright, he does the back bomb and he gets it. He gets the back bomb on Tugo here, so he's going to be getting that breakaway now. Pedro coming up in 3rd with a shield though. If there's a power item from the bottom players, we will see that we do have protection for Colombia, but we do see Japan's bottom 2 now, as Romo's last place, with Topa actually shifting up into 6th now.
Tugo and Pedro both have shields. Okay, Sukaneko also rolls shields. So yes, we are... Okay, Sukaneko runs into a nitro and loses his shield. But we are seeing the classic Tiny Arena where front runners have shields. And it's just TT mode. But Sukaneko is still very vulnerable here, even to a unjuiced orb, which is...
Or just a trap.
Bad.
Just a trap in general. So I do want to point out that Bottomochi's been doing a really good job at ankle biting here. Fernan, I believe it was, ran right up with a mask here, but actually managed to... Bottomochi managed to fend him off as soon as the mask expired with a bomb. So we see that Bottomochi and Topa together combined have really helped get themselves a bit of a break here. So we do see 1-4-5 for Japan here. Romu in 8th, but like I said earlier, he is in the position to be getting the better items. So we'll see whether he can make advantage of that to take out the 6th and 7th place Colombians.
I just realized Tugo lost his shield. I wasn't really paying attention to his POV, but he's just going really, really tight here. Okay, and well, Pedro had 2 shields, so...
And Tugo gets another shield here, but the thing is, even though they're going really tight, that is such a distance that as long as Sukaneko plays safe, which he is just going really wide here with his entropy lines. But just to make sure he keeps that first, he doesn't need to take good lines with that gap, with this little time left.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to go for the back bomb here, but it's not going to matter.
Yeah, just
it does! He does actually hit, because Tugo goes for the shield snipe. It actually does connect on Tugo. Tugo loses his air points. Heartbreaking for Tugo, but as for the match, it doesn't actually matter as he only swapped with a teammate. We are seeing 1st, 4th, and 5th here for Japan as an orb comes out last minute by Romu. I think that's... is that the only power item we saw on TA? As it didn't even matter as the Colombians didn't even get hit.
So, this is just a +1 for Japan, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah, 2019 Japan favored. And that's going to wrap up the first half.
It's going to be incredibly close after halftime, like around, 13-point difference after 5 races, which is incredibly close. You can bring that back in a single race.
Yeah, for sure. that was pretty much standard Tiny Arena, to be perfectly honest. I didn't really see anything crazy, so to speak. We only saw one power item, so if anything, that was actually a more quiet Tiny Arena than we're used to seeing. Usually there's power items, people holding power items, but we only saw one orb in 5 minutes of racing. So.
Yeah, which is really unlike Tiny Arena. Usually, like, we did see the usual everyone had a shield up the front, like Jet pointed out, but we didn't see the 50 billion power items, which do nothing because everyone's got a shield. So I'm curious whether Romu was holding that, whether he just was waiting and Botamochi just couldn't roll protection. It's hard because we don't have Romu's POV, but that could potentially be what happened and could explain how Romu got stuck in the back for so long.
For sure.
But we are going to be going into Yonglebuge, and I will put a word of warning out there. Last time Colombia played and a commentator called it Colombia Boogie, they got absolutely thrashed. So anyone here rooting for Colombia, I would maybe hold your tongues in case we have a bit of deja vu here.
Well, that's a yikes, because I already did that way
Oh,
earlier.
Jack, you may have sealed their fate.
Bobby.
So we will see how Jungle Boogie goes here. It is an absolutely chaotic track, and this is a track where we've seen people like Botamochi and Tugo going wide for the masks here, which we did see on Android Alley. You know, they both went wide, both got masks. But on Boogie, if you get an early mask and you just run straight away and plow through everyone, you can get a really early breakaway and just pretty much run with first, provided there aren't power items and you get a shield. So I'm excited to see how the first crate interaction goes here. Especially since, you know, we'll be seeing some people taking the shortcut so they're safe from the people down below, some people going under it and around, and there's a few different paths you can take at the start of Boogie, and we'll see how it all plays out here.
For sure, for sure. Now, what I am worried about is that Colombia actually has two... So Audrey, I know, likes going wide, and so far, only Botamochi has been going wide.
Yes.
So he might get outnumbered, and that could spell disaster. But this track is so small that a couple masks actually really just catch you up. So if you roll like 2 masks, you cover like half the track, especially if you're juiced.
Oh,
so,
probably the whole track actually.
Yeah, for sure. You speed through it really quick. So I want to see exactly what the teams are gonna do.
For sure.
To secure this first crate victory here.
Alright, Shikaneko going for the slowdown here, and he's in 7th. Only gets an engine though. We'll see Botamochi and Tugo getting masks here, both in mid spots. We'll see which one of them gets this though. Botamochi with the mask here does take out one. Oh, is he going to take out Pedro? He does. So we see both of them gets taken out, as we see Tugo doing the same, taking out everyone except Topa. So Topa potentially with the break here. Oh, Botamochi going for the shield snipe, missing and then hitting a beaker. That's really unfortunate.
Note itself, ask Botamochi how he shoots shields and they don't explode on him.
I know, I'm thinking that too. So we see that Topa did hit a TNT but didn't lose fire or blow up from it, and he then rolled a blue shield. So Tugo falling a bit behind there. Is he going to be able to catch up and get the win for Colombia? But we are seeing 2-3-4 at the moment for Colombia, so they are in winning spots. As we see Sukaneko in 5th place with missiles, is he going to be able to catch up and take out Audrey here? Going to get hit by his own missile, but he does take Audrey out. This will allow Romu to catch up here. Gets the squish on Fernand in the shortcut. That's really nice for him. Is he going to hit Audrey as well? He's going to go for the slowdown, and he does.
And he's going to get infinite reserves. He doesn't get hit here after pad. Yes, so he will make the great escape and get away with infinite reserves, which is really nice because reserves on this track can be kind of tricky, especially with all the item and traps. So
yeah. And we do see that in the front, Topa has just run away. He's not too far away from Tugo, but the fact that Tugo's not rolling anything and isn't juiced means he's likely not going to be catching Topa. Pedro with a shield in 3rd, and then we see Tugo with a shield. So top 3 now have shields once Tugo gets juiced here, if he decides to get juiced. He just uses unjuiced here. Botamochi with a mask in 6th. Is he going to be able to catch up? But we do see that actually Colombia with bottom 2, so he's just going to use the mask to get away from the competition below and catch up to his teammates. Does manage to avoid Romu for the team kill there. And is protected from those missiles that came out seemingly from Colombia, as Romu actually gets taken out into 8th as a clock comes out. This is really strong for Colombia. They're going to be able to get past all of these Japanese players. Botamochi can't take the shortcut. It's all up to Sukaneko here, who has a 6th place beaker. He is absolutely helpless here as we see Colombia running straight up into 4-5 here. So that actually secures a +7. for Colombia.
That flipped really quickly too.
Yeah. If it wasn't for that clock, I think that would have been an incredibly small victory, if not even a victory at all, for Colombia.
Yeah.
But that clock actually really helped. So yeah, we do see a +7 there, so I guess Colombia weren't cursed today.
Yeah, that clock at the last second. I wonder, it came from somebody that wasn't our POV, so it was obviously somebody, it was Audrey or Fernan that used it.
So I believe, from what I saw, I have a feeling it was Fernan, because I think I saw Audrey masking.
Okay.
Right after the clock, so I'm assuming one of them put on a mask and the other used the clock. But
either way, that's really wild. I wonder if Audrey was just stuck with that. He did get comboed quite a bit during some of those laps, so maybe he just had it, couldn't actually fight back, and was waiting for a opportunity to use it.
yeah,
Which obviously would be when his front two runners basically finish the race, because at that point clocks don't matter on your front two.
and well, that's a key difference with clocks versus orbs, especially lap 5, because clocks are immediate. It means that one, the other team doesn't have time to react and put on green shields or masks, but it also means that if you have people up the front, if you've got an orb, you can kind of throw it kind of early because the orb has to travel to your top two. So you don't have to wait for them to be near the line. But when you've got a clock, you kind of have to wait for them to be pretty much finished if they've got someone close to them, because otherwise they're going to get overtaken. So
exactly.
it makes you wonder if that would have been different if Colombia had an orb there rather than a clock, because the clock actually really messed up Botamochi, who couldn't even make the shortcut. Sukaneko barely making it himself.
How did he make that under the clock effect? Botamochi couldn't make it.
So it looked like it was because Sukaneko came really far from the left side and jumped as late as possible. Botamochi kind of was further to the right, not by heaps, but it was just enough to not get enough height because they had to use, like, you know, go left to try and make it to the shortcut, and I think that's what made the difference.
Very rough. Something to note, looking at the leaderboard, for anybody that wants to look along with me, it's exclamation point leaderboard in the chat. That both of these teams definitely are qualified for sure. No matter what, it's just this is basically just decides which group they're gonna get put in.
Yeah.
Colombia being 16th right now, but that's basically, well, no, that's really weird. They're 16th, and they're at the bottom of qualifying.
Yeah, so we'll be able to go more into the leaderboards after this match, but as Jet said, this is pretty much determining seeding, as both these teams are safe going into the group stages.
Alright, so who's doing the tech? Who's going to do spiral tech? Who's going to slow down?
Alright.
Okay, Audrey has a mask. He's coming up, taking out people. Keeps a few. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we're seeing a top 2 at the moment for a top 3 actually for Colombia early on here, though they do have Sukaneko and Botamochi right on top of them here. We'll see if they can take any of them out, or if Japan can take the frontal assault here. It looks like they do take out Audrey with the combo. Sukaneko coming up into 3rd as Botamochi gets comboed, falling down into 5th here. Early shield by Sukaneko here. It is unjuiced, but this is looking really good for him if he can get the shield on. No, but he gets beaked! Off of the long ramp here. Let's hope he doesn't get lap glitched here. Doesn't look like he did. He did not. But that is very strong as we see Pedro getting a shield here. So Pedro's just gone. As Jet said, this is Pedro's track in Colombia's lineup.
This is his playground. He lives on this track,
So top 3 at the moment looking very secure for Colombia as they're running quite far away. Tugo even getting an engine in 3rd, which is amazing on this track, as reserves can be kind of tight if you're trying to go super fast. We do see...
Is that first?
I believe so, yes. We do see...
2nd and 3rd now with shields.
Yeah, very true. So we're seeing protection up the front here.
They're going to be holding those and body blocking basically anyone that, you know, happens to catch up if they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've got shields just blocking that.
It's also going to be blocking power items potentially from Sukaneko here, who's in 8th.
Yeah.
I will say this.
And I imagine would make, you know, anyone who catches up a bit paranoid because, you know, you don't know what someone's got underneath the shield.
Yeah,
like they could have juiced up bombs waiting for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is definitely a track that's hard to catch up on. We see top 3 from Colombia with shields too.
Yeah.
So I don't really think anything else is going to happen outside of a major boot mistake.
Yes.
But I know Hugo has infinite reserves.
In the back, we did see Audrey taking out Romy there. So Romy now with no fire, and we see just how far away he's fallen. Shikaneko does have a mask here. He can potentially catch up here, but when he doesn't have infinite reserves, it can be really difficult because you do have to manage your reserves, meaning you do have to go wider than if you had infinite here. So he's not going to be able to catch Audrey here, who looks like he has his own mask. But it's going to be a battle between Shikaneko and Audrey at the moment as we see our other POVs with shields.
Yeah, this is looking pretty bad for Japan. Like it's pretty grim, especially since top 3 they just have shields and they just have to do lines. I'll be completely honest with you. The
and
only
two of
way
them have
you
infinite
catch...
reserves as well.
For sure.
Yeah, like
I'm pretty
it's
sure.
really difficult
So,
to catch
like-
up on this track. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So the only way they'll ever catch up is a bonk, or if they roll like 2 clocks or a
Well,
clock and a
we
roll.
also see
But
Audrey.
even then, if that happens,
Yeah, Audrey has his own shield, so all 4 Colombians shielded up now. Alongside Botomochi, but Botomochi's in 5th, pretty far away. So yeah, this is not good here. We do see that Shikaneko slowing down here. I will just swap to this POV for you guys. We do see he's going to be able to get up and take out Audrey. Does lose fire for it though, but he does take Audrey
he
out.
does bonk. But
That'll
that
help.
was a very weird interaction.
I mean, it's going to help Romu catch up. If
That
you look on the
was.
minimap here, you do see Romu has caught right up here. The rest of our POVs just time trialing, nothing too interesting at the moment, but we'll see whether anything happens with Shikaneko here. He has got a bit of a distance now though from all the other people in the back, so we'll see what happens as Audrey loses fire, Romu getting the pass as we see Colombia falling to last there, but they still have top 3. We do see Topa's not too far behind though. He has caught right up in these 5 laps. Not going to be enough unless one of the top 3 lose fire here, but the fact everyone has shields and no traps are being laid means this is pretty secure.
Yeah, this is TT mode.
So funnily enough, Android Alley was less sleep than Oxide Station. I don't think there's ever been a war where I've been able to say that. Tiny Arena was less sleep than Oxide Station. I don't think there's been a war where I've said that either.
Yeah, this was a pretty sleep station. Easy top 3. They all got shields within the first 2 laps, and Tugo even had infinite reserves. So yeah.
This was again just like Tiny Arena, no power items. Well, yes,
Not
we
a
had that
single
one. We had that one on Tiny Arena, but like
Well,
Romu was in the bottom for so
that
long.
one, you barely count that. Really.
Yeah, exactly. Like Romu was in the bottom for so long there, so you can echo bottom 3 as well. And even as much as Audrey, their team didn't need it, but we just didn't see anyone with a power item there.
That's wild, and that also leads that's a big win for Japan too.
Absolutely.
11
Yeah,
point
11
win?
points.
For Colombia. Yeah.
Or Colombia, excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
So it's getting grim. It's still possible. We're going into
It is getting a bit.
yeah. We're going into race 8, so it's still possible for them to come back.
But it's going to be
But-
hard work.
It's definitely going to be hard. They need some major wins here.
Oh, for sure.
But this is a very I won't say strange war, but just the lack of power items is
It's very unusual.
uncharacteristically kind of CTR.
There's a
Yeah.
lot, there's not a lot going on.
Yeah, we've only
Right.
had a very
It's
few
just
handful.
Like you drive.
Yeah. Alright, I do need to BRB for just a small
Just
minute, but
one
I'll
more.
leave you two to talk about
Okay.
Tiger Temple coming up and see what you think's going to be happening here. I'll swap over in case I'm not back in time. So here we go, chat. I will be back in 1 second.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, yeah.
We are missing a player in the lobby.
We are.
Okay,
There
Rum
he is.
left, came back. Tiger Temple. Well, Topa is definitely. Topa looks like he's front row. So
he's definitely going to pulse with the start.
yes, he's.
I imagine quite a few of the Colombians will too. They've probably got that quite down.
Yeah, Pedro definitely just changed his controls. It looks like on his stream.
Yeah.
So, this is another track where you kind of just break away and you just never see a person again. Especially with the grass post weight. So.
Oh yeah.
It is what it is.
The grass pulse width on this track is very powerful.
Yeah, it depends on who gets the better item, roll once they get inside the tunnel. Get a bomb, you're pretty much guaranteed to take out whoever's around you because it's just so narrow.
Yeah, like the explosion radius of a juiced up bomb would probably just fill up that whole area.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and even if it's not a juiced up bomb, it's like you're not going to have people hugging the sides of the tunnel trying to, avoid. Well, maybe you will, but like, when you've got the flame going, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm back just in time.
That place.
Welcome back.
Planned.
All right. So we're definitely about to see some gamer tech from the entirety of the front row.
I'm curious.
Anyone just contact.
Yeah, I'm curious on the content cut.
Yeah, I'm wondering how many people collision on each other and lose their speed because of it.
Yeah, so we see Topher and Audrey getting really good
Pedro,
ones.
Yeah, but Pedro collided off the back of Topher.
Yeah, very true. And didn't get an item because of it as well.
Yeah.
Sukaneko getting taken out
that's
there.
Another big thing with the start.
Yeah, for sure.
What a mess.
So Topher actually gets a really early break here. Sukaneko got taken out early. Tried to get a snipe, but barely missed. We did see someone, I think Romu was it there, going for the content cut. I actually missed who that was, or maybe it was Tugo. It was Tugo, actually.
It was Tugo.
Yeah. And then we see third place getting taken out by a trap Topher laid there, so we're going to be seeing Topher with the really fast breakaway at the moment as Tugo loses fire, so we cannot go for the content cut here, unfortunately for him. We do see our back players really trading here. Romu getting comboed mercilessly by Pedro here. Sukaneko Romu in 5-6 here as we see 7th place held up by Botomochi here. This isn't looking too good for Japan at the moment, though we see Romu turning around to get right behind 8th place. Unsure if he's got something or if he just wanted to mask 8th to take them out here.
So Topa is definitely just out of here. He doesn't seem like he has a shield and he's still back spamming. But content cut from Tugo again.
Yeah, we definitely see. Oh, he loses fire as he goes for the air break though. That's going to just cost him time, unfortunately. So as much as he made the cut, he didn't get to do it optimally, and so he didn't actually gain anything from it.
So interestingly enough, what Tugo tried to do there was really, really interesting. He did content cut and then tried to get the back bomb as he was landing on Topa, which would have been a very, very interesting play had that it worked. Because then they both would have been out of fire.
Yeah.
But he misses the bomb.
We instead saw that Sukaneko got taken out by Pedro at the same spot by a back bomb, and so we see Sukaneko then getting comboed by Fernan here, now falling into 6th as we see an orb in 7th by Botomochi. Sukaneko hitting the beaker in order to dodge the orb there, so nice play by Sukaneko there. Pedro getting hit by the orb, can't take grass now. We'll see if he can get caught up to as Tugo also gets hit and now can't go for content cut. Botomochi masking up in 6th as a clock comes out from Romu.
Yeah, it looks like a Japan clock.
Yeah, so Botomochi running all the way up into a 4th place. Is he going to get the missile on Pedro? He does.
So right now we're looking at 1-3 from Japan. 1-3.
Looking like a 1-3-5-8 currently, but these bottom 2 positions can change at any moment. We do see Sukaneko with fire here. Audrey with a mask though. Sukaneko not going for content cut. He's going to be relying on missiles or a mask here to catch up to 7th place here. Romo's looking safe at the moment in 4th, which would be a really good win. We do see Sukaneko with the mask. Is he going to get up to Audrey here?
He will.
It looks like he's going to catch him. And
he does.
7th.
So that's a really strong win for Japan there, getting 1-3-4-7 on Tiger Temple.
Yeah.
So we saw Colombia Boogie, and now we're seeing Japan Temple.
That swung really fast too. These races swing very hard in like the last 2 laps. It's very surprising.
Japan's missing power items popped up finally.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think we saw more power items in that one race than we saw in the past like 4. And all we saw was, what, 1 or 1 clock?
But they were very, very powerful.
Oh, for sure.
In their usage, so.
They were
Especially
very
since they
crucial.
Yeah, they came right back to back to each other. So.
And that was really beneficial for Bottom Mochi specifically because he had a mask. And because of how close they came together, as you said, Jet, it meant that he could dodge both with one single item. And then because he got triple missiles afterwards, he could run through the grass and just mash circle to victory and just end Pedro with the missiles there to be able to secure third. So that was a +7 for Japan. They've brought the gap down to 24, so it is winnable, but unfortunately for Japan, they're going to be needing a bit more than 2 top 3s if they want to be winning this. So, gonna be tired, but it is possible, especially since we have Prehistoric next, which is a track that I think many people would say is a strong Japan track.
For sure. I can see this one kind of going its way, especially if there's no power items. Like, if you don't see many power items and they end up getting the good breakaway, they can get the very, very good top 3 because it's very hard. But honestly, even if you do get power items on this track, if it's an orb, if there's a chance, depending on where you are, it may not even work correctly. But if it's a clock, clocks can be very, very harmful on this track. Just depending on where you get hit in a playground and you're just,
well,
where the dinosaurs are, you don't have fire until
another thing about clocks here is you don't actually need a shield to dodge, quote unquote, because at the final ramp with the waterfall, if you get clocked off of it, you can use your pulsed inputs and jump there, and you can get massive speed ghost from the clock there. So something that you do see very often with red beakers and clocks is on downhills, people, hopping and zooming to victory to get a little speed ghost. So potentially if one team gets a clock, they can just hit the person without a shield off of the downhill, and they will go flying and not lose any time at all.
That's very, very true. But let's see how it all plays out going into this 9th race. Pedro seems, it looks like he was switching his controls back and he just forgot.
Alright, let's see how race 9 goes. If Colombia get any win here, they win this match overall. So we'll see what Japan can do here. Pedro getting taken out early. We do see a missile from Tugo, but he's not using it as Fernand's on top of him. Can he get past to take out one of the other 2 Japanese players here? Sukaneko also getting taken out. He has fallen behind with Pedro here. And we do see Romu getting taken out, so now it's Topa versus Fernand and Tugo up the front here. This is not looking good for Topa as Fernand gets the bomb. Top 2 for Colombia at the moment.
Baramochi loses fire, but he gets a shield snipe on Audrey. Misses the squish. He's going to get taken out by his missile.
Yeah, looking like no one in the back has fire, so looking like it's just top 2, and they're just going to be running away. We already see, we haven't even finished 1 lap, and they've got a massive break on Topa, and Topa doesn't even have fire here. So they don't have shields, so an early power item, which we see Botomochi having, uses it unjuiced. This could be disastrous for Colombia here. Tugo doesn't have a dodge here as he gets the breakaway. Let's see, doesn't hit anyone else as everyone else dodges, and it hits Tugo right after fire. This is disastrous for Colombia.
Now, interestingly enough, Tugo could have avoided that by going wide at that turn.
Yeah.
Tries to get the bomb snipe? Yeah, he tries to get the bomb snipe on Topa, but it misses. And
but the missile!
What was that?
That was a Colombian missile if I've ever seen one. Missile coming from Pedro from Mars, taking out Topa there. So now it's a really free break for first place, which I believe is Audrey there. We do see Tugo loses fire, so Topa's going to be able to get a little bit of distance. We do see Sukaneko masking in 4th here. Is he going to be able to catch up to Tugo and get the bomb hit off? The fact that Sukaneko has fire means he probably will. He does, but he had a shield. Will he get the back bomb? No, he misses.
Beaker snipe. Tugo tries to get the beaker snipe and almost snipes himself in the process.
And an orb.
There's another orb.
And then Tugo gets Nitro.
Yeah, Sukaneko dodges, but we do see... Yeah, and Topa gets hit, so we do see first place getting hit. Sukaneko does have a chance here, holds his bomb because he knows that he can hit Fernand here if he catches up. Topa likely to hold 3rd, considering even though he doesn't have fire, he has a massive break, and Tugo has no fire either.
Let's see what Sukaneko does here. He has the bomb for the kill, but can he get it?
Yeah, well, we do see Romu takes out Pedro here, so a lot of action happening front and back as Botomochi actually comes up and takes out Pedro as well, knocking him down into 7th. And Fernand and Sukaneko trade.
bro,
Big trade.
I'm pretty sure Fernon works at GameStop or something because my dude trades all the time.
But we do see Shukaneko with a juiced missile here. This could be exactly what they need. He just throws it away, though. He had a potential to hit there. That might not be the play. Likely fishing for a better item, but I don't know if he's going to get one in second here. Fernan getting a bit further away. We see...
that missile could have helped right here.
For sure. And we see Tuga getting taken out by a Nitro by the Dino Tail. Is he going to get the shield tackle on Romu here? He's trying for it. Romu seems aware of what's happening. It's just sitting behind here. But no, Tuga gets it. And we see Tuga trying to go for the multiple missiles here, but his missile actually targets Audrey, who's masking. One of them does take out Romu, though.
I think they're playing a game of chicken.
Oh, it seems like it. Playing a game of chicken at the chicken. Shukaneko has another missile here. Is he going to be able to use this one as we see an orb coming out? Oh, and another... Oh, a missile from fucking Japan. Oh my god. Takes out a... Fernan there. Topa shooting from Mars there, taking out first place, and then he dodges the orb. So we see the orb's going to be doing another lap. So this is...
What happened there was that the orb... That wasn't a juiced orb. It was a Max Petty one, correct?
No, I think it just skips Topa because he did the dodge, like you said, at the dinosaur.
Okay.
And so that's actually disastrous for Colombia because it's allowed Topa to run away with first because it's lap 5. We also see Shukaneko in second. This is actually a victory for Japan to finish off. Is he going to get the back bomb on Fernan? He is not. So Colombia are going to secure third place, but we do see some of their POVs getting taken out here. Botomochi going wide on lap 5, which is really interesting here. He does get a mask, so he can potentially take Audrey out here.
They need
and he does.
They need at least a +5 in order to make it so it's winnable. So
Romu got taken out on the shortcut there, and a clock. But unfortunately for Romu, that's not going to be enough. So that is a +5 for Japan there.
It's exactly a +5, which leaves them. Yeah, it leaves them in.
So that means that Japan need a top 4 to tie here. If they don't get a top 4, then it's Colombia's win. So Japan is still in this, but it's going to be tough.
So it is coming down to the last race, kind of.
Yeah.
So that's good to see.
I mean, we've seen it in the past.
It's kind of coming down to the last race.
We've seen it in the past where race 10, one team gets a top 4 and makes a comeback. So who knows?
Yeah, well, I remember that watching match between Italy and Germany.
Yes, that was the one I'm thinking of. They out of time. Germany got the top 4 they needed.
Insane. I watched VOD for that. My jaw hit the floor.
So we see the scores
let's
here.
See, will we have a rehash of that?
We do have Inferno Island coming up, and as we mentioned earlier, Colombia is made up of 4 pulse-witting Patricias, so it's going to be hard to keep all 4 of them in the bottom, because if they get an engine, they can just try and zoom straight back up pretty quickly. So this is really going to be tough on Japan's part to try and get a top 4 here, but it's definitely possible.
I mean, Inferno is just a hard track to top 4 on in general. So.
Oh, for sure.
If they actually manage to get this top 4 here. And we actually also see a tie of points. Topa and Pedro, 59 points apiece. Hopefully.
Alright, so that means if Pedro or Topa get first place here, they get the ha-ha funny number, chat, which means we can all post our Omega lulz and talk about the funny number.
Nice.
So I'm very, very surprised that it actually did come down to Infernal Island. But, hilariously enough, if Colombia wins this by 1 point, my prediction will be true, and that means I have made 3 correct predictions tonight. And I think I will ban myself from commentary from now on.
You will be banned from predictions because we want some hype in the World Cup, and if you just keep predicting, then that means there's no interest because we just know who's going to win. It's just whoever Jet picks. Have you rigged the World Cup, Jet?
I don't know, but I was saying this to Rare the other day where I was just like, dude, I speak things and it kind of happen, and I kind of hate that. So
yeah.
All right, well, we're going into Inferno Island now, so let's see how this goes. I know when I've played Topa in the past, he does love to turn around here and get double Wampa, and then just try and get early pulse with it, and we're seeing it. We're seeing if he's going to be getting the pulse tech.
Tugo gets an early mask.
He does slow down quite a lot though, so that might be too big of a gap for him to be able to make too much of an impact outside of hitting the back runners here. Sukaneko with the early shield almost gets the snipe on Pedro, very close, but we do see an early top 2 for Colombia. Not that that means much on Inferno.
Tugo is doing the thing. He is doing the Megumi tech where he basically just says, I just need to stop one player. I don't need to stop your entire team because you guys need a top 4 to win.
And in this specific scenario, it makes sense because, like you said, it is tactical here in that they do need to just stop one person. So we'll see how effectively they can do it as Botomochi does have a mask to protect himself here. We do see Topaz in first. The Pulse Master runs up into first here. Sukaneko in second. Colombia have gone down to 3-4 as we see looking like it's a decent enough break at the moment for Topa, but we'll see if that changes coming up. Botomochi getting an engine, but I don't think he pulse widths. He does not. So he is catching Tugo here with his masks, but Tugo is doing the game attack.
Not Tugo. Tugo run away.
Yeah, Tugo's run away with the game attack. He turns around to get the missiles, but it looks like Botomochi has a mask. That doesn't pay off for Tugo. He's going to have to try and take Romu out, who also has a mask. This is not looking good for Tugo's ankle biting capabilities here. Romu doing something here. Okay, Romu going for Pulsewood here, but looks like Tugo's going to be able to take him out here. And we do see up the front, they do have the top 2 at the moment, Japan, but they do see, and 5th place by Botomochi, but we do see Audrey and Pedro shielded up here. So not looking like Botomochi's going to be able to get a pass here, as we see Tugo going for the grief tech on Romu to prevent that top 4.
Yeah. I have to wonder where's the line when it's just griefing at that point.
But we're looking like the top positions are pretty set. Everyone has a shield. It looks like except for I think everyone does have a shield here except for one player. Oh, Romu's being lapped. That's why I see now. That's unfortunate for Romu. But
yeah, it basically doesn't matter. I mean, at this point, if they need a top 4 in order to tie, and Romu's so far behind. Like, look where everybody else is. Here's the orb
and there's an orb
out from Romu, but it's too late. It's way too late.
Yeah, so we see all of our POVs here finish, and now it is just Tugo here. So Tugo's just masking, so he's protected from the orb. But even if he wasn't, he annihilated Romu there. So
yeah, he pretty much buried Romu and any chances that Japan had to come back there.
And a clock.
And the clock, yeah. I mean, they did have the top 2, so they were halfway there. But that's basically all they really needed to do. They just need to stop one player, just pick apart one player that, that basically can't defend themselves, and you can't get the top 4 without 4 players.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting point that you did bring up. You were talking about, like, where do you draw the line? And I do agree, it's it can be a bit of a tough line to try and find, but I know that when it comes to a lot of these plays, at least like in this circumstance, when you're looking at it, you can understand, like you've pointed out, that there is really strong tactics behind it on race 10. You do see, okay, the other team need 1, 2, 3, 4. If I can prevent 4th by just hitting one of their players over and over, they can't win, because my other teammates are definitely going to beat them. And I think in these kind of circumstances, it's really understandable that such a moment would occur, right? It's when you start getting into those more questionable plays, like we have seen in the past, griefing happen as early as race 3, and you kind of think, like, nothing's been decided at this point, so it doesn't feel as tactical, especially on tracks without that comeback potential, like Cortex Castle, for example, and other, like, Blue Fire tracks. Like, I feel like you get into a bit of grey area when it comes to that kind of griefing, but in a circumstance such as this, where Tugo's kind of identified, they need a top 4, I can prevent it by hitting one person, it makes much more sense here.
Yeah, for sure. But that will do it for this match. GG, well played to both sides. We have Colombia with 201 and Japan with 189. So we got 8 plus 12 for Colombia, so I did get all my predictions correct.
Yeah, did anyone say plus 12 for Colombia? I don't think I saw that. I think I saw a 10.
I saw a 10, and I believe...
So Dashi said plus 10 for Colombia, so I'm just going to say Dashi on stream. Not his full name, he doesn't get that validation, but he got close. 2 points within, that's pretty close prediction here. So 50% validation.
But with that, we have concluded Week 5 and also the seeding stage of the World Cup.
Yeah. So
Yay!
It has
So-
been 5 grueling weeks between all the teams.
So really quickly, I just need a minute to be a boomer. I'm gonna grab the leaderboards for you so we can all have a quick look at them here. Let me just zoom in here. Make it look pretty. There we go. All right. So we can see the leaderboards here. Of course, because the Colombia match literally just happened, it's not been inputted into the board yet. But what we can see from this is, as we mentioned, the bottom teams had already been decided. Australia was guaranteed eliminated even going into this week because they hadn't had any wins and they had quite a large point loss. So unfortunately for them, their fate was kind of sealed, but they did do their best to try and come back against their final opponents here. It really did this week come down to Poland, Peru, and Great Britain Ireland, I believe. It really came down to these matches I will show on screen. So round 5, which are all the matches that happened this week, we do see Peru versus Australia here. If Australia had have won that match, there was a very real chance Peru got eliminated. And after Australia won, the focus really shifted into the match above here, Spain versus Great Britain Ireland. Because if Spain had have won this match, if we head back here, we see that Great Britain Ireland have a larger point deficit than Poland. So if they had have had a loss here, they would have been placed lower than Poland, and then it would have been Great Britain Ireland and Australia eliminated early on, which I think many people would have had a bit of a shocking upset there, because I don't think anyone would have expected Great Britain Ireland to be in the firing line so early on.
Sure. However, some other upsets that I also want to say. Spain from last year, if I recall correctly, Spain actually didn't make it into the group stage, so they made it in this year.
Yes.
With some very, they had a crucial win because they have a tiebreak point. I can see. I can't remember their matches off the top of my head. They did have a crucial win here.
Alright, I tried to get a secret sheet, but I don't have access, unfortunately. So we will wait, but yeah, as we wait, as we see for as Jet said, we do see Spain have come back with a really strong
And they didn't
really strong
scrape
performance.
by either.
Alright.
They already had their spot guaranteed, I'm pretty sure, going into week 5, so...
Yeah, alright.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
So we do see that Humble Dashi has created a copy here that's inputted the results, just so we can see what will be happening before the official one's updated. So we do see here that with that match being inputted, we do see Japan in 9th place here. 2 wins, 3 losses, and Colombia in 7th here with 3 wins, 2 losses. So we do see these are the positions that they've been seated in here. And as we see, as mentioned, bottom teams haven't been affected, but this is going to be affecting the seeding going forward into the group stages. We did say last week that Saudi Arabia, as we've seen, they have kept top seed. They did fantastically throughout this whole seeding stage, and it was actually really surprising, I think, after seeing how well Saudi Arabia did. The United States actually did come through with a 30-point victory against them, so preventing Saudi from getting the clean sweep in the seeding stage and really showing that there is some competition in these other teams still, despite how well they've performed.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised about that too. For anybody that doesn't know, I'm co-captain of the U.S. team, and I was out today, and I was informed by Rare that hey, they won, and I was just like, wait, what? And that was pretty surprising, but it was a nice thing to come home to. And I'm also seeing word from Dashi that the groups will be the seeds. So it's Group A is 1, 8, 9, 16.
All right, so this is group. Okay, so we've got group. Well, no, you're good. I thought we can break down the groups individually here. So we see Saudi Arabia, Costa Rica, Japan, Latin America. It's looking like it's going to be in Group A. I will clarify, just in case there is some adjustments we haven't accounted for. This is just how we've theorized it, obviously with Dashi copying the sheet over, so potential changes could occur, but this is likely what we're going to be seeing. So, as I've said, Saudi, Costa Rica, Japan, Latin America. So this group definitely looking like Saudi's going to be pulling in strong here. I personally feel like Japan will make it through out of these teams, but at the same time, Costa Rica and Latin America do have really strong players, so we could see them beating out Japan here. We'll definitely see how this goes out.
Really surprised about that group. Latin America in particular really surprised me during the seeding phase. That team is definitely not to be slept on.
Yeah.
Their last match in particular was phenomenal.
Yeah.
If you have not watched that match, please go back and look at that VOD, because that team drives manual. They have the clutch in the car. That last top 4 that they got on that final track, spoilers, but that was amazing. So super proud of that team. So I'm excited to see how they perform in this group, especially with Saudi Arabia. I think that one's gonna be particularly bloody.
Yeah, for sure. So the second seed for Group B, we'll see, looks like 2nd, 7th, 10th, and 15th. Oops. 7th, 10th, and 15th. So this is going to be an interesting group. United States, Colombia, Argentina, France. I think all 4 teams there, incredibly strong here. France actually placing surprisingly low here. They had some really rough matchups, because we even see the matches they did win. They won by a lot, and probably didn't lose by too much, given that they've got a positive point difference while being placed 15th. So I think this is going to be a group where I could see any 2 teams coming out on top here.
This one, oh my goodness.
This is a scary group.
World Cup 2
Yep.
Because last year, United States was in a group with Colombia, but they had Italy and Latin America.
Yeah.
Now it's Colombia, Argentina, and France. So this, oh my goodness, this group, yeah, we already know that United States and Argentina don't have the best of blood going in right now. So that one's gonna be particularly bad. And Colombia versus US is always rough, in my personal opinion. Not to say that they can't win it, but it's definitely rough. And then there's France.
And France are completely cracked as well. They've got some very strong players. Neko, Mini, Firekeeper. So not a team to be slept on at all.
I feel like France is just a wild card here, and I feel like they can actually make it out. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I mean, we have seen some matchups here before. Argentina did play United States from memory, and they played France. United States did, and I believe US won both matches, if I'm not mistaken. You only losing to Italy. So I don't know if you guys played Colombia.
No.
But we have seen you guys play the other 2 teams, and you did come out on top. So I do wonder if that's going to be happening again. But we have seen non-World Cup matches, Argentina versus USA, where Argentina did come out on top. So I feel like it can be anyone's game here. And it's not like any of the wins that we've been seeing from these teams are massive landslides. Like, it was an 8-point victory against France, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Incredibly close. So this one is definitely going to be a group to watch here, as we see. Let me find what the 3rd seed was. It was 3, 6?
3, 6, 11, 14.
Alright, so we're going to be seeing Finland, Chile, Great Britain, Ireland, and Spain here. So, interesting group here. I really feel like the powerhouse is Finland out of these 4. Not to discredit the other 3 teams here, but I do think Finland has brought an incredibly strong lineup this year, so they're definitely a force to be reckoned with in this group. The other 3 teams, I feel like any of them could qualify. I feel like Finland, like I said, I can definitely see them being a qualifying team here. And then of these 3, I don't think I could pick, given current lineups. I think Spain, as Jet pointed out, they've done so much better than they did last year, making it into group stages, and not just making it in quite decently, with 2 wins under their belt, really showing that they're coming in swinging this time. So potentially they could really bring it to the group stages and actually make it further into the brackets.
Sure. Chile, in this group, I feel like Chile is the wild card.
Yes.
they can either do some wild tech or they can just completely just butcher themselves. And I don't know, like, because that team, if I'm not mistaken, has the famed Poncho on it.
Yes.
So I actually didn't even know he was a part of the lineup. I thought he wasn't playing the game, but then I saw the scoreboard. I saw that he was there, and I was like,
Yep.
"Oh, he is part of the roster." So
Yeah, anything can happen with Chile there for sure. They do have some really strong players here, so we'll see if it's enough to be able to push them through to the bracket stage. But this another interesting group in my opinion.
If you thought Group B was rough, take a look at Group D.
Yes,
This
so
one's
I believe
probably going to be the most important one.
4, 5,
4, 5,
13.
12, 13.
Is it 12? I'm trying to think which ones I haven't
12,
picked.
yeah, 4, 5, 12, 13.
This would be it.
This is a pretty disgusting group right here.
Germany,
So
Mexico, Peru, Italy. Yeah, that's going to be rough.
I'm glad I'm not in this group.
I mean, I'd say same, but I'm not in the World Cup. But I know I don't envy this group. This is an incredibly rough group to be going into. Germany being an incredibly strong team this year. They've really brought it this year. We can see 4 wins under their belt. Only a few teams managing that overall. Mexico, of course, particularly people from the Americas will know how strong the Mexican lineup is. Very strong players, they've got people like Angel and Mexic, for example. Super fierce team there with very good synergy. Peru does have some very strong players as well. You've got people like Roca and Beba, who can just be very tough to go up against. And of course, Italy being the winners of last year's World Cup. So we see them place 13th in seed here, but they are going to be going into a very tough group, and they do have some very fierce players in themselves. You've got people like Turismo, Karma, as 2 examples there, who can really bring it to the table here. So this is going to be a scary group to be in. I'm sure all of these 4 teams are a little sad here that they have a bit of a rough time, but we'll see who pulls through.
This group, for me, I would typically usually say that the wild card here is Peru.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely Germany.
Yes, I can see that.
I want to say, even in light of Saudi Arabia's amazing performance of winning basically all of their weeks and still having a terrifying point difference afterwards. Germany surprised me a lot. They've outperformed and did way better than they did last year. It's very much showed. Basically they're leading their group here. So they are definitely the wild card in my opinion here. I would normally give that to Peru because I know how Peru is.
Yeah.
But Germany for sure is the wild card in this group. Mexico always strong. So. And so is Italy, like you said.
I feel like you really hit the nail on the head there with Germany when you said that Germany surprised you there. And I feel like a lot of people, at least from who I've been speaking to, I don't think anyone was saying, oh, Germany sucks. Because of course not. They're actually a very good team. But I don't think anyone expected them to do as well as they did. Because, like I said, they are a good team. But I think how well they've been performing, 4 wins under their belt, pretty high seed here, and like you've said, they've gone up against teams and done exceptionally well, beating teams such as Italy. I think that Germany have actually really brought it this year, so I am really excited, like you said, to see what they can bring to this group, because it could go really well for them, and they could actually make it through to brackets and further on. I definitely can see Germany doing that.
For sure, but this group is definitely terrifying.
Oh yeah.
This is a shark pit. That's a shark pit group.
For sure. So I will swap back. I will just quickly check. Okay, groups aren't automated here. That's fine. I will swap back to this screen. So yeah, we had a little sneak peek of what we're going to be expecting with the group stages, which I believe are starting next week. So not too long, and then we have some more content to look forward to here. So for now, as Jet said earlier, that does bring us to the end of the stream. We've had a great time commentating for you, so I do thank Jet and Jooba for joining me as guest commentators here. Really nice to have you both on here.
No problem.
Having me.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Yeah. And as usual, thank you to Rare for helping out with the background and doing the scores for me so I don't have to learn how to count.
Of course.
So, as usual, if you want to support the channel and the competitive hub in general, follow us on Twitter. We do have, obviously, follow us on Twitch as well. You can get updates on when we're live, both from our Twitter and Twitch notifications. We also have a Discord, so make sure to join there. You know, you can join ranked, just keep up with World Cup in general. So anyone that's not there, feel free to join. And yeah, that will be the end of the stream here. So I will just see if I can do... There we go. So we've got all the links there for you. But for now, we're going to be raiding Yaku here, doing some ranked. We're going to be seeing some Finnish molding here. So go learn some Finnish swear words and say hi to Yaku. He's a great player, great guy. Loves Amy. We do see he's playing Raccoon Amy at the moment. So take care, everyone. And thank you for stopping by. We'll catch you next commentary.
Have a good one, guys. Peace out.
Bye.
See ya.